I sit here looking at some comments in response I've had to some of my videos recently.
They weren't about you doing vertical video, were they? Here's what you do. You takes your phone, you turns it like this. It's not difficult, alright? Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers, BionicDance here. Today we're talking to a guy who calls himself Jesus is Lord, which isn't even slightly pretentious. And obviously he's got a few things to say about atheism, so what do you say? Let's hear a few.
Do you know if you seek Jesus, you will find him?
Yeah? Where? I mean, if you found Jesus at some point, you must know where, and can therefore tell us, give us a few GPS coordinates where we might find the fucker. But if you're going to tell me to find him in my heart, don't bother. I can find lots of things that way, but so far, all of them have been fiction, and I see no reason why Jesus would be any different if I don't find him outside of my own head.
Atheists say, well, why can't I see God? If he's real, why can't I see him? If you seek Jesus on his conditions, which is in righteousness and in truth, you will see him.
Phrases like seek him in righteousness and in truth are meaningless. Meaningless. To be righteous means to be moral or virtuous, and looking for somebody or something should not require morality in order to find it. If Jesus is actually a person and not a concept or an ideal, he should be there whether we're on our best behavior or acting like scum. And if we have to already agree with him in order to find him, then what benefit is there to finding him? And seek him in truth? What does that even mean? You went looking for Jesus, only you lied about looking, so you never found him? I realize that phrases like in righteousness and in truth sound just awesome to you biblical types, but to those of us who aren't already on board with you, this stuff just sounds pretentious and obscure. If you really want to convert people, you're gonna have to work on your marketing.
You will know him, and he will know you.
Will he know us biblically?
Which is particularly important when it comes to the Day of Judgment, isn't it? That God knows us, that we've not turned away.
One can hardly turn away if they were never facing that direction in the first place. It's like that old joke about the Eskimo who asked the missionary if he'd go to hell if he didn't know about God. The missionary tells him no. So the Eskimo asks, then why did you tell me? If God is real, he's done just about everything he can to sound like a character from a really poorly written fantasy novel. I haven't turned away from Vera, the demon goddess, and I haven't turned away from your God, because neither one has given me a reason to even suspect they might be more than stories. Also, the Vlad Tolstoy series is not poorly written, definitely not on the same level of suckage as the Bible.
Atheists say, why can't I see God? Well, God hides himself from wickedness. If any of you read the Bible, read the Old Testament and see how God cloaks himself in darkness and hides himself so that the wicked cannot see him.
Really? And yet, how is he supposed to forgive anybody if they can't find him after they've been naughty? Listen to how you describe him.
Not some God of force and of wickedness, but a God of love, a God of forgiveness, a God of mercy.
Who apparently hides himself from the people who need that mercy and forgiveness. Might as well ask Santa Claus for that new car this Christmas. At least he's there in the mall to ask, and you only have to sit on his lap.
The very fact we can know Jesus and come to see him, come to know him in our lives and speak to him and have him answer our prayers, which is a glorious thing. Jesus answers prayers. What a wonderful God we have.
Funny how Jesus never answers prayers in an unambiguous, well-documented way that can be investigated enough to find no possible natural explanation, like regrowing an amputated limb or having gremlins disembowel and devour William Shatner. Every claimed miracle leaves tons of room for doubt. Funny how that is.
Turn away from wickedness. Seek Jesus. Be saved. Inherit the promise of salvation.
And if it turns out not to be real, does this offer come with a dignity-back guarantee?
And come to know him. You won't be an atheist very long, I promise you that.
Well, if that happens, it'll be on my terms, where God manifests in person, thus confirming his existence, without putting all kinds of terms and conditions on his doing so. He can make his little heaven or hell offer if he likes, but he'll do it by first showing me that it won't be a waste of my finite lifespan. If he's truly a loving God, he'll understand my trepidation and seek to comfort me by assuaging my doubts, by showing up in person once in a while. But he, doesn't. And I'm given no good reason to suspect he even exists, much less is anything like you've described. So I'm going to remain an atheist. Tell your God he can call me. But until then, this is BionicDance, saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please, think.
And remember, if it can't be in your hand, it's all in your head.